So we've got a great call lined up here. I'm just going to kind of tee it up by just kind of recap our products, right? We got new people on the call today. If you're on the call for the first time, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you being here. OLIABO stands for Olia, which is Italian for oil, and botanica, OLIABO. We created this trademarked brand name, and it's great name for our company. Gordon and I happen to have Italian roots. Our mother was born and raised in northern Italy. Our cousin, who's probably on the call right now, right from Italy, is part of our team, and we're grateful for you, Katya, you and Ricardo. Mediterranean seeker. A lot of people talk about the Mediterranean diet. What are they doing? Right at the top of it, just take a look at this. The average Italian consumes about 14 liters of high quality extra virgin olive oil per year. The Greeks, 20 liters. And this is an average again, okay? And then here in the United States, what are we consuming? About 1 liter of crappy olive oil. And we don't even know if it's real olive oil half the time. Of course, you can find it. Yes, you can find it real olive oil, yes, but it's a little more complicated than we might think. We have a proprietary blend of what we call olivectin. It's a made-up name. It's our trademark name, and it's a proprietary blend of the leaf extract from the olive tree, which contains high amounts of oleuropein. We're going to dive into this in a moment with our doctors. And then the fruit, yes, olive is a fruit. There's an extract that comes out of it called verbascoside. Phenomenal. And let's go to the next one, Gordon. This is our flagship product called Prima, and Prima just means first in Italian. And it's a packet with 4 different capsules in it. Let's go to the next one because we got high HP Evo, which there's extra virgin olive oil, and then there's high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. And high phenolic actually Evo in general, but even more so with the high phenolic, has something called oleocanthal. Again, we're going to dive into this. So remember, the doctors will help us understand this a little further here in just a moment. But the oleocanthal that's found in it is phenomenal polyphenol. This chemical compound that if you Google it, in fact, we encourage you, take a snapshot of that. Do your own research on it, because what you're going to find is remarkable studies on oleocanthal and anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and so forth. It's remarkable, absolutely remarkable. And we infuse it with rosemary extract. Why? Because our mother cooked with rosemary, and pretty much all throughout the Mediterranean, you're going to have people cooking, and it happens to be really good for the health. Of course, anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, and there's lots of different great benefits of rosemary. Olivectin, this is our proprietary blend of the leaf and the fruit extract. Again, we're gonna dive into that just in just a moment with the doctors. And then Rosa just means red in Italian, proprietary blend of grapeseed extract and lycopene, which is an extract that comes from tomato. Again, going to that Mediterranean, you show up into the Mediterranean, they'll throw in like Greece and Italy there, and you can and Spain, every single meal pretty much has tomatoes in it and grapes in some form or another. And again, success leaves clues. So we have also topical benefits. And Ashley, do you want to maybe just mention about this? Because high phenolic extra virgin olive oil has incredible, not just internal, but external benefits. And this is more for sore joints and muscles.
Yeah. So one of the main ingredients in this is this olive oil that's really high in oleocanthal, which is a polyphenol. And this has been linked to a COX-1 and COX-2 inhibitor.
Yeah.
So it acts like a natural anti-inflammatory, which is huge, especially for topical. So what it does is it goes a little bit deeper than just skin level. It does hit your skin, but it goes even deeper and helps with your joints, your sore muscles, and any discomfort you might have. But also, Joe, you were saying about how something about your arm.
Yeah. Like I had an amazing experience. The mangosteen pericarp as well, by the way. Great. I'm so glad you added that to it because it's really, really great from an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant perspective. Squalene, that's from olives.
Yep.
And in case you're wondering, and then a bunch of other great supporting ingredients. But I put this on, and much like everyone, experiences, you get a little bit of a sore muscle. I had a workout where it was a bit of a sore muscle on my shoulder. And I sat there last night, rubbed it in really well, and I woke up this morning, which I would usually have like a dull pain for several days and just kind of work through it. I woke up, didn't even notice that. It's like amazing, actually. Seriously, this formula, I can't say enough good things about it. And I know many of you have heard these testimonials. You're hearing a lot of them, aren't you, Ashley?
Yeah.
You are the formulator of this, so
There's
congrats.
so many big ones. And if you guys have any, please send them to us as well. We love seeing pictures. We love seeing all the differences in your skin and, the way you act, how you're able to enjoy things that you weren't once able to.
And so with that, we got the doctors. We got double trouble.
Double trouble.
Like we're doubling down with the business. We're doubling down with the business and we're doubling down with the doctors say. By the way, I didn't mean to say you're double trouble, both of you. It's just it's a song from the 80s that Gord chose for the video, and it's awesome. It's this one that, anyways, you'll all hear it. It's a good song. But Dr. Van Johnson, ER physician from, well, I think originally from Utah, but you're now practicing up in Montana. Thank you for joining Dr. Johnson and Dr. Earl Mendel, originally from Canada. Yay! Lives in California right now, and both phenomenal experts in the health and wellness arena. We're grateful to have both of you on. Thank you for joining us today. Let's talk about this, Dr. Johnson and Dr. Mendel. I mean, this is pretty exciting with, well, you're first up, I guess, Dr. Johnson.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to make sure. I struggle sometimes in this IT realm, but nonetheless, it's, you've often heard me talk about in the sense of wellness and what a great adjunct or something that you would add to your health in the world of exercise, right? So I've talked about staying active, which I think is extremely important. And I've oftentimes told my patients that if I could prescribe exercise, it would be a blockbuster a drug because it addresses so many different areas of the body. But now as I research more and more about extra virgin olive oil, it's right there with exercise and the way that it addresses so many pathways within the system that helps promote health within the body. And so this is exciting and to, with everybody else to learn more and more about every one of these ingredients and these polyphenols and the healthy fats and so on. It's been nothing but educational for me, but also exciting to see the amount of research that's done. And I have a fun story about that. I'll tell you a little bit later on just the wonders of extra virgin olive oil. And as we all know, the biggest hiccup in that world is having a reliable source that you can consume on a daily basis that will actually provide those nutrients for you. And that's why it's such a blessing and an opportunity to team up with OLIABO. So,
well, thanks, Dr. Johnson. You mentioned healthy fats. Maybe you can expand on that just a tad, because a lot of people, we're still a little confused, aren't we, in the world of health and wellness? Like, fat's bad. It was so bad for all these years, and suddenly we're like, well, wait, fat's good. But there's different types of fats. This is a good type of fat. Maybe you can just briefly kind of, because that's still a myth that's out there. That's kind of
it is, and I think it's scary for a lot of people. And even in the world of medicine and daily practice, talking to physicians, it's been pounded into our brains for so long, the low fat diet. And unfortunately now, well, not unfortunately, but actually fortunately, we understand that fat can be extremely healthy. And so to understand, though, in the world of olive oil is that it has what they call predominantly a monounsaturated fat. And so in the world of fats, there's pretty much three categories that we use. We call them saturated, we call them polyunsaturated, then we call them monounsaturated. And that has to do with the chemistry that we won't bore you with, but nonetheless, it's how they're broken down in the system. And so fats have kind of gotten a bad name, unfortunately, wrongfully so. We know that fats can be extremely healthy when used properly. And fortunately, the healthiest fat that we know of is monounsaturated. And that's where extra virgin olive oil is the star, because it's loaded with the monounsaturated fat. And that's one thing we should mention, that in nature, nothing is purely just one of those fats. It's usually a combination. So even though we say it's monounsaturated, there's going to be a tiny bit of saturated and there's going to be some polyunsaturated. And so, you know, the key to understand, though, that it's predominantly monounsaturated. We call it oleic acid. And it's kind of a cool thing because not only is it beneficial for every, you know, trillion of cells that you have in your body and the membrane around those cells, but it also enhances the absorption of these powerful polyphenols. And so these polyphenols, when you want to absorb them on, you know, from the gut, they've got to be, and we use the term liposomal, means kind of in a fat environment. And nature's already figured that out, which is exciting.
It's great. Well, thank you, Dr. Johnson. Dr. Mindell, do you mind sharing a little bit about the olivectin side of things? So we've talked a little bit about the extra virgin olive oil. Dr. Johnson's touched on this, and good fats, which is great. We'll probably come back to that a little bit as well. But Dr. Mindell, do you mind talking about, we've got the olivectin with the leaf extract and the oleuropein from the leaf extract and the verbascoside from the fruit extract. Do you mind touching on that just a tad?
Absolutely. And by the way, there's 2,386 research studies that are available now on extra virgin olive oil if you go into pubmed.gov. So for anybody who wants to go into more depth, excuse me, they can go into pubmed.gov. Okay, what OLIABO did is fabulous because this particular, I call it a food foundation, has been around for 5,000 years. I mean, it's not new, but we're now learning more and more about all of the basic polyphenols that are good for us. An example is we have in our Prima Pack 2 what I call liquid gold capsules, but the other capsule in our olivectin is really superb. It is a high concentration of the polyphenols, of phenolic compounds that are found in extra virgin olive oil, but in much higher percentages. And they are the ones that do all the good work. For instance, I don't know what I can say, olecanthal is one of the most potent of the polyphenols. It fights inflammation, and almost all the destructive diseases or causes are inflammatory diseases. So this fights the inflammation. Then there's a verbacticide, which is prevents oxidative stress, high in antioxidants. And the way to describe what an antioxidant does, if you took an apple, slice that apple in half, and put that apple on a countertop, what happens to that apple after a period of time? It turns brown, right? It oxidizes, it rusts. Well, before one half of the apple turned brown, if you squeeze some lemon juice onto that apple, you'd find that the apple does not turn brown because there's some vitamin C, which is an antioxidant in the lemon juice. Well, that's the same thing that happens with our verbacticide. It is an antioxidant, and what if you let it go to extremes, it actually causes internal, we want to call it rusting or oxidation, which can be very detrimental. Finally, there's from the olive. You see, the olivectin is a combination of olive leaf extract and olive fruit extract. And the olive fruit is something that very few companies even have in their product. And it helps to basically protect the brain, protect the heart, and metabolism. It's unbelievable. So when you take the olivectin and add it to the what I call liquid gold capsules, you get a fantastic synergistic effect that cannot be replaced, cannot be ever made by anybody else. Most of the olive, so-called extra virgin olive oil, 70–80% from what I've been done research, is not really extra virgin olive oil. It might be a small percent. It's usually heated, it's usually processed, or it could be diluted with cheaper oils like canola, soy, corn oil. So we're giving people something that is phenomenal. And all you do is just take one of these packs a day, and you're getting all the benefits of something that's been around for 5,000 years. I mean, let's be realistic. We should get in the habit of doing something good for our body instead of waiting until we have a problem and then try to cure it. And that's what this is all about. I'm excited to be a part of the Scientific Advisory Board for OLIABO. I think we can help millions of people all over the world. And I notice people calling in from Australia, from Canada, from all over Europe. This is something that is a functional food that it's been around forever, but nobody really has promoted it until now. And we have an opportunity of helping a lot of people to be well and to stay well.
Thank you, Dr. Mindell. I love that you said that not many people, I don't even actually know of a company that has this blend of both the leaf and the fruit extract. I don't even know of anyone that's even got a fruit extract.
There's
Very
nobody
unique,
around.
isn't it?
Now, I've seen so-called extra virgin olive oil by itself, but it doesn't tell you where it's from. It doesn't have the Italian government certificate of purity, and it sure does not have a concentrated source of the leaf. By the way, the leaf is a lot of the polyphenols concentrated in the leaf and the fruit. So you're getting the best of everything. And by the way, just to tell you how up to date this research is, I just got something yesterday. Said that here's another one of the polyphenols called hydroxytyrosol. We don't talk about that enough, but hydroxytyrosol has amazing benefits. It's a potent antioxidant. It's a brain protective and a cognitive protective. Bone, skin, and eye support, antimicrobial, protects DNA, heart healthy, and anti-inflammatory. Well, anyway, this research study said that it lowered, reduced inflammation, and the Mediterranean diet, of course, is one of the principal sources of extra virgin olive oil. In fact, if you go to the countries in the world that live the longest, southern France, Monaco, Spain, Greece, Italy, you'll find that their principal source of good fat, and that what Dr. Johnson said is absolutely right, the good fat, the monounsaturated fat, is olive oil. And we have an opportunity of spreading the word about this good fat to everyone.
For sure. And I'm glad you brought that up because Gord mentioned, and it's been a while since we've talked, but I loved how Gord would talk about to go from 1 liter of crappy olive oil and try to bring people to 14 or 20 liters. Like, that's a pretty big sales.
It's I'm telling you, there's two of the most charismatic medical professionals you could ever ask for on the line, and they're both used to talking to people about bettering their health, but I don't think either one of them has the ability to convince somebody to go from 1 liter of crappy olive oil to 14 or 20 liters a year. As much as they're energetic gentlemen, but you know,
and even then, the level of polyphenols and other nutrition that you get from the different compounds and componentry that we put together in Prima is off the charts compared to even 14 or 20 liters of even a good quality extra.
Yep.
That's where the extracts really help bridge
those
that gap.
extracts. And
Dr. Johnson, do you mind building on I'm going to throw this at you right now without asking you ahead of time, but antioxidants, Dr. Mindell talked about antioxidants from a medical doctor perspective. How important is antioxidants in everyone's daily life? Like, you see people every day. Talk to us about the importance of what Dr. Mindell was talking with antioxidants.
Well, he's spot on. And so oxidation or oxidative stress, and what we know now in the world of medicine, is one of the major contributors to many, disease processes within the body. And in fact, one of the most common diseases that we battle in medicine is that cardiovascular disease. And so we know that in the world of cholesterol, cholesterol is not a bad thing unless it becomes oxidized. Once it becomes oxidized, now it becomes sticky and stick to the size of your blood vessels and cause a problem. And so in order to reduce that risk of oxidative stress or that process of oxidation, you want to consume foods rich in antioxidants. And then so the antioxidants neutralizes that, much like Dr. Mendel mentioned earlier, as we kind of all know that is rust. You know, if you walk by your bicycle that you haven't ridden in a long time, that chain is all kind of brown and gold, and that's rust. That's oxidative stress. And when that occurs in the body, that's a real problem. And it can even occur in areas, that not only involve the cardiovascular, but also in the brain. And this is one of the areas of research that they're looking at in the world of dementia, which is a real, problem in the United States. Well, actually worldwide. I mean, 30 million Americans are affected by, or 30 million people worldwide are affected by dementia. And, vascular dementia is a real problem. And so that's all coming from oxidative stress. So if you can consume on a daily basis a very powerful antioxidant, you're going to neutralize that in the system and improve, you're going to improve yourself from the inside out.
Oh, I love it. Dr. Mendel, do you mind jumping in on that with the Rosa capsule? Because I know you're real hot on that. We were talking about that the other day. The Rosa capsule have the grapeseed extract as well as the lycopene. Right. Why is that so important? How does that play into that antioxidant that Dr. Johnson was just talking about? And how does that play in with the Prima product, do you think?
Oh, it's another part of this fabulous Prima pack, and that is a patented, basically, combination of the grapeseed extract, which is red and white grapes, and the grapeseed extract and the lycopene, which is where tomatoes gets their red color. So all those have benefits in the sense that grapeseed, if you notice, the so-called Mediterranean diet, people drink red wine almost on a daily basis, and that's, of course, grapeseed is a source of the polyphenol. And lycopene helps against so many different antioxidants, etc. But I think there's something I want to mention too that we haven't talked about, and that is that when you, I can tell you myself, I've been taking a shot of extra virgin olive oil every night, like a lot of the people in Europe do. But by using the capsule, the pack, Prima pack, I sleep deeper. I have vivid dreams, and I wake up much more refreshed. But it also helps with weight control, which we haven't talked about. Considering that 75% of Americans are overweight, and here's a frightening statistic: they expect, if things continue, that by the year 2035, 50% of Americans will be obese. Mm-hmm. So we got to do something, and by cutting out a lot of the excess saturated fats and bad fats, and by incorporating the monounsaturated fats, we can really help people with their weight control too. But we've got a fabulous combination here that is a synergistic blend of all these things together, and I congratulate OLIABO for doing it, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that people understand what we have and how easy it is to take. Just take a pack a day, that's all.
Yep, I love it. Thank you, Dr. Mendel. Dr. Johnson, one last thing I'm going to ask you. Dr. Mendel mentioned about the effects that it could have on a person's, I'm going to say, appetite suppression. Actually, that's what that's what we're seeing quite regularly, and that of course affects overall. Why would a good fat make a difference in that perspective? From that perspective,
that's actually a great question, because that's one of the hot topics in medicine right now. And what we do know, there's a few things. Number one, a healthy fat is going to offer you satiety in the world of I feel more full. And so you're going to be able to go longer in between meals. And the longer you go in between meals, the better that you can activate your sanitation department within your body to clean up dead cells, or what we call autophagy. And this is, and so the healthy fats are going to be beneficial, but I also believe that the polyphenols play a very important role in the weight loss. And from what I can see in my research is because it's optimizing healthy bacteria, or what you call your microbiome. And anytime you optimize your microbiome, you're going to create this little endogenous substance that many people have heard of nowadays called GLP-1. And if you activate your GLP-1, you're going to have satiety. And this is what the big drugs are doing, Ozempic and so on, trying to activate that at a much higher dose. And so, but you can do that in a natural way by consuming healthy foods that are loaded with healthy fats and healthy polyphenols, and helping the digestive system behave the way that it's supposed to. But don't let me forget, I want to throw out a little kind of story about the topical, because I think that's a powerful brand that you guys are doing and putting together. And I firmly believe that, okay, so we talked a little bit. Is it okay if I go into that right now?
Yes, please. In fact, that's what Ashley was going to ask questions on the topical side. So yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Yeah. Let's get Ashley involved.
You just
We're in the future.
Yeah. Let's,
Using the force, Dr. J.
Okay. First of all, let's go back a little bit to the healthy fats. And so taking a shot of olive oil can be extremely helpful. And it's actually kind of a fun little biohack if you're doing any type of prolonged fast. So what you can do is take a teaspoon every so many hours, 3 or 4 hours, while you're fasting, if you're doing more than just a 12-hour fast. So if someone nowadays wants to do a 2 or 3 day fast, which this is a voice of experience here recently, you can take a shot of the olive oil, and it's providing your body with healthy fats and the polyphenols, so you don't wreak havoc on the lining of your gut. Because if you go too long with a fast, that can really kind of cause issues in the world of what we call leaky gut. But the point is that it does have calories in it when you consume it because of the healthy fat, but those calories don't mess with your insulin. So your body still believes it's fasting. So you're making a fair amount of the other source of energy called ketones. And so it's a great little hack to help yourself maintain satiety and still be able to fast. Now, I did find out, unfortunately, at work that there's a fine line between a good amount and maybe too much, because then there's an issue called disaster pants, right? You lose all confidence in your ability to clear your throat, cough, and anyways, people probably don't want to hear the details with that, but I was like, okay, maybe I've consumed a little too much here. And as Gordon used to say, it became very effective cough medicine, because I didn't dare cough for several hours. But back to the topical. So Flexes to me is really an exciting product, because it's completely, working with the system. And so it's a powerful anti-inflammatory. And anytime you reduce inflammation, anytime, again, a powerful antioxidant, and you're reducing that oxidative stress in a very, concise area, say your shoulders, as you were talking about, Joe, then you're going to help the body heal itself, and the body can then go to work and increase the blood flow to that area. Because when you're inflamed in your shoulders or whatever joints picking on you, you reduce blood flow, you reduce, oxygen getting to there to heal. And so when you reduce that inflammation, now the body can actually do what it's supposed to do and heal. And so the one thing I figured out as I've gotten older is you don't have a right and left shoulder, you have a good and bad shoulder. And oftentimes my left shoulder is not as good as my right shoulder. And so I've been rubbing Flex on that, very much like Joe after, lifting weights. I can't lift as much as Joe, but someday I hope to grow up and.
You're much more. I've seen your workout videos. I think you got me beat. But go on, continue.
But anyway, it's crazy on how well it works just overnight in the sense of reducing that inflammation. Now, if you take that a step further, though, and the topical application of extra virgin olive oil and these, high phenolic, extracts that you put in the topical application, you're going to reduce oxidative stress in the skin. So if you want a more youthful look, you're putting this topically definitely on the face and trying, to reduce that oxidative stress that we get exposed to every day through not only what we eat, but also from the sun, which really can accelerate the aging process of the skin.
I like that.
Well, somebody that looks probably the most youthful in the room, actually, that's actually one of the whole goals of everything that you've been dealing with. But
Very true.
yeah, I know you've been holding your.
Do you have a question? Do you have a question?
No, just because Flex is out there, people are using it, they're using it on their skin as well. And I sent you the pictures right from last week that you're able to see. So what I want to say is we're coming out not shortly, this year with a Treviso line, which is a skincare system for your face. So just saying that a lot of the ingredients from Flex were in that, you'd be able to see the same kind of effects on your face as well.
No, and that's what's exciting. The other thing that's kind of fun about this is that some of these polyphenols found in extra virgin olive oil are very powerful. We use the term antimicrobial. You'll know that as an antibiotic. And so if people are struggling with acne and these type of things on the face, this topical skin line is going to help that dramatically.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent.
So for the folks that, by the way, Dr. Bedell and Dr. Johnson, you're familiar with the fact that there are medicines that are like a nicotine patch or things that are transdermal. For folks that may be new to that area, maybe you can explain that not everything can be absorbed transdermally, but a lot more things than people think, I guess. You're probably dealing with a certain amount of skin conditions, Dr. J, in your practice. And Dr. Mendel, you probably dispensed a lot of things to do with the skin. Anyway.
Yeah, well, let me just say this. If you have a healthy gut, you have a healthy person. And this is something that I don't think we stress enough, is that our product will give you a much greater, better digestive system, and it keeps the good bacteria to be reproducing in your intestine. And that's something that very few people understand, that the gut is called the third or the second brain. It is a straight line to your basic brain in the head. So healthy gut, healthy person, and that's another what I call side benefit. In the world of medicine, they call them side effects. If you don't believe me, watch television one night and take a look at some of those drug ads. At the end of the ad, they tell you some of the side effects. And I'm a pharmacist, by the way, myself. But these are side benefits. The side benefit is a healthy gut, where you help with your digestion, your skin becomes softer, the lines and wrinkles go, you start to glow. I mean, it's amazing that this functional food that's been around for 5,000 years is still a mystery to most people. And by the way, you can easily drizzle it on fish for salads. I put it into my baked potato or mashed potatoes. I drizzle over hot air popcorn. There's all kinds of ways. You want to take it straight, which I don't know if people are ready for that, but it's something that should be on everyone's table and utilized on a daily basis.
100%, 100%. The gut connection to the skin. That's so you're talking about we get our gut working properly. That affects everything.
Exactly.
It affects everything, including our skin. Correct.
Exactly. A healthy gut produces all kinds of good things in the body. We have to absorb the nutrients in our intestine, and if the intestine isn't healthy, you're not going to get the correct nutritional absorption. So it's a very important thing, and I could go on for another hour about all the different benefits of extra virgin olive oil.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. We may have to have a separate segment. Dr. Johnson, wouldn't you agree? Like a whole separate segment on gut health.
Yeah.
And the benefits of extra virgin olive oil on gut health. We could dive into like the extracts and gut health and the whole bit. but that's a big part of your practice, I would imagine, Dr. Johnson. You're probably seeing more and more people talking about gut health and how that affects them overall. Would you agree?
I would agree 100%. And what's fascinating, Gordon brought up a good point about transdermal absorption of certain nutrients. I prescribe medications every day that people are putting on patches or putting on creams, and so even big pharma knows that the skin is a great way to absorb, into the system, because it goes right into the bloodstream, and oftentimes will bypass going through the liver first, which is when you swallow a capsule, what happens many times. But most of your skin issues that we run into nowadays are directly related to gut issues, as we were mentioning earlier. So if someone has so-called eczema, that's a gut issue. If someone has acne, oftentimes a gut issue, sometimes hormonal, but all three of them are, play off each other. And that's another thing to remember is, one of the best things we've done in medicine is we have what we call cardiologists, neurologists, nephrologists. But one of the worst things we've done in medicine is we have cardiologists, neurologists, and nephrologists. So we forget that the body's a network and everything's interrelated. And as Dr. Mendel alluded to, your health goes right through the gut. And so so having healthy fats and the amount of concentrated polyphenols that you have in OLIABO and the extracts is going to do nothing but enhance your microbiome. And so you could take really, probiotics all day long, but if you're not giving those probiotics, the fertilizer or the food that they need to thrive, then you're not going to really change your microbiome. And that's where the polyphenols come into play.
Wow. Powerful. Powerful. So to that point, and boy, we could go on forever on this. We'll have to punt and create a whole separate one on that. But that's interesting you bring that up, Dr. Johnson, because I used to take a probiotic every single day. When I started taking extra virgin olive oil every single day, and as well our Prima, I haven't had to take it in a couple months. It's really interesting. I've been taking a probiotic, and I'm not suggesting anyone get off their probiotic. That's not my point, because if you need that, please. But it's made a big difference in my gut health. And
yeah, most definitely. And so basically these polyphenols and healthy fats it's like miracle grow for your garden, and so you're really feeding that healthy microbiome, and that's what's truly going to change versus just putting in, a little bit of a probiotic. And in the world of probiotics, I'm with you. Don't stop taking them, but anytime you're taking one, you want to make sure it's a high quality and they actually have some sort of third-party testing that it, absorbs past the stomach acid and gets into the intestines where it's supposed to be. But again, to me, what we know now, in my mind, polyphenols are what we call prebiotics. And so they're creating the food and the nutrients for the probiotic to thrive. Right. And some of these polyphenols are actually even what we call postbiotics, meaning that they help the bacteria create nutrients after they've been digested that go throughout the body and really kind of create what we call homeostasis or a more healthier picture.
Love this. This is so great. We're going to have another one of these roundtable discussions sometime. And Dr. Mendel, did you have any final comments before we start to wrap up?
I do. You see, in the world of health, the longer you take a product like the Prima Pack, the better the results. In the world of drugs, the longer you take a drug, the more chance you have of having side effects, either that or toxicities, etc. So it's only going to get better and better and better. It's a good habit to get into. And I think people should start to take the responsibility of their health in their own hands. If you're sick, that's different. But what are we doing to stay well and be well? And that's what I think our Prima Pack is all about, how to be well and to stay well. And that's what I wish to all of you.
Dr. Mendel, appreciate it. Any final comments, Dr. Johnson, before we wrap up?
No, I couldn't agree 100% with Dr. Mendel. He's spot on with that. And so it truly, if you want to improve your health, you got to kind of become the CEO of your own health. And the best doctor in the room is your body. And you've got to listen to your body, and your body will tell you what's going on. And when you give it the right nutrients, like we have here, you're going to see nothing but benefits as the longer you're taking these, and in the sense of improving your health. So it's exciting.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Thank you, Dr. Mendel. Really appreciate you joining today and joining the OLIABO family, and we're looking forward to future ones. Thanks, guys. You're awesome.
Absolutely. Bravo. Yeah. Amazing.